New leadership for Town Council. We have details from last night's meeting and election. And the police department receives an early Christmas present in the way of a more than $200,000 grant. Plus, we get a look at sports with Brenna McCubry. All this and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, December 20th, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. Town Council has a new president and vice president. Officer elections were held at last night's meeting. Just before votes were cast, councilors were given the opportunity to say a few words. Councilor Ann Kennedy took that opportunity to withdraw her name for the race for Town Council president.
The other thing I wanted to say is that I also believe, and I've said it a million times, in process. And I'd like to see us as a council, we've made some great strides, but I'd like to see us be more open and transparent and follow procedure and be consistent and predictable. And as I was thinking about this election, I thought, well, you know, if I actually believe what I say, which is that I believe in process, then the natural would be that this also applies to elections. And I think a natural process is a succession from vice presidency to presidency. I think Deborah's done a marvelous job as president. Deborah Dagwan's done a marvelous job as president this year. But I do believe that we should move as a council these officers, keep rotating them. Everybody on this council has talent. Everybody has the ability to run this council, and I think everybody should have a chance. So I like the idea of succession. So, with gratitude to Mr. Norman and Mr. Wallace for the nomination, I do want to withdraw my nomination and support Jessica Rapp-Grassetti as president of the council. I also would like to say a couple words about Jessica, and that is that I think she is obviously a dynamic lady, smart, has been a good vice president to Councilor Dagwan, and I'm excited that she is chair of the 375 committee, and this year is the 375th anniversary. I think she'd make a great president during this process. So I support her wholeheartedly. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Nominee for President Jessica Rapp-Grassetti also spoke, detailing her top priorities if elected.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for your nomination. I'm truly humbled and very honored to be the nominee for the leadership role. And I proudly accept, with a full understanding of the duties and responsibilities of the position. And if elected, I'll rely on the talents and abilities of all my fellow councilors to guide us together and govern on behalf of the citizens of the town. And I want you to know, too, that openness, honesty, and citizen involvement are my top priorities and will be if elected. So.
Incumbent Town Council President Dr. Deborah Dagwan also took the opportunity to speak about why she wanted to remain in the position.
Being the incumbent here for the presidency, I think it's important that I stand on my own record. I think people need to understand the makeup of this council. 2 years ago, we had 5 new people came to this council. In November, we had 6 new people. We have a lot of new people on this council. And unfortunately, a lot of the leaders, a lot of the veteran councilors ended up getting voted off this council. It had nothing to do with me or any of you. And they should be the ones really sitting here that ended up in these leadership roles. However, last year, when this the opportunity came up to run for president and vice president. No one stepped up from this council. Councilor Kennedy could have stepped forward, put her name forward. Councilor Tinsley, who's been here a while. I'm just talking about some of the ones that have been here a little long. And many times that's what happens. It's usually the older councilors because they've been here a little bit longer. We didn't really have a lot of older councilors here. So I stepped in and took on that challenge. I didn't manipulate anything to get the vote, and I got it unanimously. That means people trusted me and were willing to give me a chance. Every town council president who has come before me has had an opportunity to be in the vice president position and then advance to the president position. They've had a chance to train. Councilor Vice President Rap Cassetti worked under me for a whole year. We almost pretty much trained together. I'm asking this council to respect what I've done over the past year.
Ultimately, the council voted 8-4 in support of Jessica Rapp-Grassetti for the office of Town Council President, and Kennedy was elected Town Council Vice President, receiving 10 votes of support. The Barnstable Police Department will be able to use a more than $200,000 state grant to pay for officer training and overtime expenses. Police Chief Paul McDonald urged the council to vote in favor of accepting that grant before the vote.
The police department applied for and has been awarded a grant in the amount of $216,121 to fund the training and certification of enhanced 911 telecommunicators, including emergency medical dispatch. The grant will fund the EMD training and certification of all new telecommunicators serving as dispatchers. Additionally, this grant will fund continuing education courses as required by law, such as in areas of CPR and specialized dispatch training in other topics such as active shooter, domestic violence, and suicide prevention. This grant will also fund the basic 40-hour telecommunicator course for the 10 new police officers. The fiscal impact, this is a reimbursement grant for all training, costs, materials, and overtime.
The council voted unanimously to accept that grant. Now let's take a look at sports with Brenna McCoubry.
Good evening, Barnstable. I'm Brenna McCoubry, here to bring you the latest updates on national and Barnstable sports. Last night, the Boston Bruins lost in Buffalo against the Sabres 4-2. The Bees will play the Sabres again tomorrow at 7 p.m., this time on their home ice in Boston. The Boston Celtics also have a game tomorrow. They will be home at the TD Garden to take on the Washington Wizards at 1 p.m. This Sunday, the New England Patriots will meet with the Baltimore Ravens for the first time since the Super Bowl. The Ravens won the Super Bowl last season, and hopefully the Pats will be hungry for the win. They will play at Gillette at 4:25 p.m. Taking a look at sports here in Barnstable, all boys and girls basketball teams are up against big-time rival Falmouth today. The boys JV and varsity teams will be away, JV starting at 5 and varsity starting at 6:30. The girls JV and varsity teams are home. JV will be at 5 and varsity tip-off at 6:30. The boys JV ice hockey team is away at Tony Kent to play Dennis Yarmouth at 4 p.m. Busy day tomorrow for the Red Raiders. Starting the day off in Raider Nation, the boys varsity wrestling team will have a match at Braintree at 9 a.m. Girls freshman JV and varsity basketball team will host Dennis Yarmouth tomorrow. Freshmen at 10:30, JV at 12 noon, and varsity at 1:30 p.m. The JV girls ice hockey team will be here at our very own Hyannis Youth and Community Center at 12 p.m. They will be hosting Duxbury. Girls varsity ice hockey team will go down Cape to play at Tony Kent to play Dennis Yarmouth. Puck drops for the girls at 5:30 p.m. The girls varsity gymnastics team will wrap up this busy Saturday with a meet against Medfield at 7. On Sunday, you can head over to the Hyannis Youth and Community Center to watch a friendly game of hockey. This game will be played between the girls varsity ice hockey team and some alumni. This is the girls' annual alumni game as graduates from the very beginning of the program come back to play a little pickup puck. That game will begin at 6:40. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to get the latest on national and Barnstable sports. Here in Barnstable Today, I'm Brenna McCoubry.
For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.